gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Monster Truck Show. Allow me to introduce myself and the rest of the team. My name is Michael Murty. I'm going to be your commentator throughout. I'm also going to be the driver of Big Pete. Joining me in the arena, driving the Grim Reaper Monster Truck, is my younger brother Christopher Murty. In charge of proceedings and guiding us over the cars, Mr. Outhwaite. And on the forklift, in case the cars move or in case anything goes wrong, we have our teammate Paul as well, ladies and gentlemen. So the cars are in position. What normally happens is as we pull out into the arena, we have to do the job of setting up the cars, and it's my job to do a bit of filling in whilst the guys get the cars out, but they're already in position for us. So what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about the two trucks that are here today and what you can expect to see, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start with Big Pete. Big Pete is the only real monster truck in the world. It is the tallest, heaviest working monster truck in the world. Weighing in at over 7.5 tons. It is 2.5 tons heavier than any other monster truck. Most other monster trucks, Grim Reaper included, weigh in at around about 5 tons. 2.5 tons heavier, Big Pete. It is the only monster truck in the world to have its own articulated car crushing trailer, and that's what makes it the only real monster truck, because in my opinion a truck is only a truck if it has the ability to tow a trailer or carry goods. So back in the yard in Yorkshire, there is the world's first 24-foot long, 8-foot wide monster trailer that can go on the back of this truck and be taken over the cars. We debuted that for the first time this year, and we were the first people in the world to take a monster truck and articulated trailer over the cars, ladies and gentlemen. So the other thing that makes it a real truck is the fact that it is a genuine Peterbilt, which is a make of American truck. It is all steel and aluminium. The driver sits on the left-hand side, as you would expect from an American truck. It is, however, a bit of an animal to drive. Unlike the Grim Reaper, where the driver sits in the centre of the truck, sitting off to the left means that it is difficult to get the truck in line with the cars. This is why we rely very heavily on the man on the ground, Andrew, to guide us over the cars. He'll be working the steering, and you'll see him standing in this position here right up until the point we hit the cars, and then it's his job to run like hell. We put him in danger so that we can try to keep you guys safe. Now, on the subject of safety, there are quite a few bits of kit on these trucks that nobody else uses. First of all, these trucks are the only two in the world to be fitted with front and rear facing cameras. The cameras allow the drivers to see the blind spots. If you look very, very closely on the front of Big Pete, just above the bumper on the front grille there, you can see the front camera. There's also one on the rear and the same on the Grim Reaper. We use those cameras when we're moving the trucks around, when we're working in the arena, or indeed if we have to pull the trucks through the crowd to get into the audience. As well as that, both of these monster trucks are fitted with a piece of kit called an RII. It stands for Remote Ignition Interrupter. There are two operatives in the arena that at any time they can turn off the engines to these monster trucks should anything go wrong during this performance, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the end of my 19th year as a driver. Most of those years have been spent behind the wheel of Big Pete. Although I own both trucks, for some sadistic reason, I always choose to drive Big Pete. But I might have a change around this afternoon, which is going to come as news to my younger brother Christopher, who's going to get the job potentially of driving Big Pete. Are you up for that, CJ? Yes. Excellent. So, 19 years a driver in Big Pete. How many cars do you think we've crushed? 20,000, ladies and gentlemen. 20,000 cars have all gone under the wheels of this truck, and pretty much all of those cars have been crushed on one set of tyres. How much are the tyres? $3.5 grand each per tyre. And I know this for a fact because at August Bank Holiday I destroyed a tyre for the first time on Big Pete, and I rang the tyre supplier up for a quote, and they are £3,575 each, not including VAT. So next time you're having a whinge about putting tyres on your Golf GTI or whatever the hell it is you drive, think about $3.5 grand a tyre. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to start with a quick drive around and get the engines up to working temperature. We're going to demonstrate to you the four-wheel steering on these monster trucks. A unique four-wheel steering system because it is independent. We steer the front wheels with one hand and the rear wheels separately with a micro switch with the other hand. Once the trucks are up to working temperature, we're going to start the action with a drag race. We're going to race 7.5 tons Big Pete against 5 tons the Grim Reaper across the arena. First monster truck to pass the cars is the winner. Then we turn our attention to a stunt that we are the only team in the world to do. There are 5 cars in the arena to be destroyed. The 4 in the centre on the sheets, they're there to be jumped on, jumped over and crushed. The 5th car, ladies and gentlemen, is marked up with the letters TOW, stands for Tug of War. What we're going to attempt to do for you here, folks, we're going to attempt to pull this car in half. We have 2 huge chains, one on the front, one on the rear. We will put the monster trucks into position, attach the chains, and the winner of the tug of war is the monster truck with the biggest half a car. We'll drag that around for you to have a look at. You decide who's the winner, although it should be pretty obvious. We'll then drop off the halves a car, and then it's time to get strapped into the harness. On goes the helmet, hands device. We get lined up on the cars, and the idea is to go over them twice each. Now, talking about Big Pete and how horrible it is to drive, we've already identified that Mr. Alfway there, it's his job to steer the trucks over the cars. It's your job to make the drivers press hard on the throttle. Because the louder you cry, the higher we fly. The more noise you make, the bigger the jumps will be. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, monster trucking is audience participation. We need you all to get involved. Mums, dads, boys, girls, aunties, uncles, grandparents, take out your teeth if you've got false ones. Scotland, do you want to see some damage? Jesus, I've seen more life in Donald Trump's hair. You can do better than that. Come on, do you think I'm risking a trip to the infirmary for a lame-ass cheer like that one more time? And this time, I'll give you an incentive to make more noise. Most of you people drove here and I know where the car park is. Yeah, so unless you want me to squash your car, which I will do with pleasure, especially if it's French, make more noise! Do you want to see some damage? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for coming out to see us here today at the Dumfries Motor Show. And without any further delays, we bring you the monster trucks. Powered has got optional 2 or 4-wheel drive. So what I like to do for the drag race, ladies and gentlemen, is back the truck right up to the fence like this, leaving it in just 2-wheel drive. I'm then going to get you to give us a nice loud countdown. 3, 2, 1, and when you say 1, I convert all 500 horsepower just to these rear wheels here. These wheels are then going to start spinning furiously, and all this grass and muck and poop is going all over you people here. Is that alright? No. Probably best you and me don't fall out, eh? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, go! So, Big Pete is going to have the front end of the car. The Grim Reaper has the rear end. Now, what I'm going to do now is a bit of a cheat, because in the cab of Big Pete there are 2 huge levers on the floor. The first one selects low range hooks. The second one puts the truck into 4-wheel drive. With this truck in 4-wheel drive low range box, it is now capable of pulling the Grim Reaper backwards with all 4 wheels turning forwards. It has half the speed of the truck, but double the amount of torque that the engine puts down to the wheels. So, two trucks are in place, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Clear. Get your cameras ready, folks. Let's find out if this car is gonna come in half one more time. Dumfries Motor Show. Do you want to see some damage? Yeah! Do you want to see the little Polo die? Yeah! Okay, the winner is the monster truck with the biggest half a car. Let's find out if it's gonna work, or if we're gonna be made to look rather foolish. Ladies and gentlemen, nice loud countdown. Are you ready? Yeah! 3, 2, 1, we ripped the doors off. The seats have been ripped out. And the winner is Big Pete. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now drop off the 2 halves. The chains are disconnected from the rear of the monster trucks. Driver looks for a signal from the crew chief to make sure that the car is clear. The trucks do not move in this arena without the say-so of the crew chief. Right, it is now time to get strapped in to the 5-point harness. 2 straps go across the lap, 2 straps go over the shoulder, and the most important and painful of all comes up through a hole in the seat between your legs. Once the The next piece of equipment to go on is called the HANDS device. It stands for head and neck support. This is a fancy collar that fits on your shoulders, traps underneath the harness, and to the HANDS device we attach the crash helmet. So on goes the HANDS. Whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to make a few quick checks. Engine fans on, trans fans on, engine temperature, engine oil pressure, all fine. So once the HANDS device goes on, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put on the crash helmet. As tight as physically possible. Now while I'm doing this, the guys are going to put the gun reaper into what we call the emergency intercept position. In case anything goes wrong during the jumps, the second monster truck is parked. The two front cars are exactly the same car, using exactly the same engine under the bonnet to make the truck fly level through the air. Launch level, fly level, land level is the safest way to do this. The first and now the second cars have disappeared out of my line of sight. We make sure that the cars are level, which they are. The two front wheels need to come down, touch the ground together. Then the truck is backed into position. And we are ready to go for the first of 4 jumps here today from Big Pete. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make some noise. Do you want to see some damage? Yeah! Are you ready? Yeah! 3, 2, 1, we go! Go, go, go! Checks, make sure everything is still fastened in okay. The 4-link bars, the suspension, thumbs up for Andy. Then, the reaper comes down, the lines up. Ladies and gentlemen, is 2 of the most dangerous things that can happen with monster trucks. One is a monster truck can lose a wheel. By landing it on one wheel is a surefire way of knocking a wheel off a monster truck. If we make sure that we hit the cars dead square level, the truck will launch, fly and land level. This is what sets us apart from other teams. On the front of the 2 lead cars there are a device called the trap strap, which try to help and keep the cars in position. The weight of the monster truck drives up onto the trap straps and it stops the cars from firing across the arena. The second and by far the most dangerous thing that can do and has happened with monster trucks is drivers can knock themselves unconscious on a hard landing. Look at the two front wheels now. What Andy's done is line the cars up so that the two front wheels leave the ground together. That's what we're looking for. So in the event of a driver knocking themselves unconscious, that's where the remote kill system comes in on the monster trucks. Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Grandma time. Do you want to see some damage? Yeah! Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Together. Watching very closely what Andy is telling me to do. He is steering the truck. You guys are working the throttle one more time. Scotland, do you want to see some damage? Yeah! Are you ready?
Is it, Jake?
Some people out there might be watching this procedure and thinking, what the hell? Just hit them and hope for the best. But the reality is, folks, we pride ourselves on taking safety very, very seriously. We have an established routine. We make sure they are level every time before we hit them. And this is how we keep you and the trucks and the crew as safe as physically possible, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the biggest of arenas.
How did they get in first?
So, after this performance, you've got loads of things to see and do here today, ladies and gentlemen. Short window of opportunity to come and meet the drivers, take some pictures of the trucks, then we're going to reset the arena and we will be back on again later on this afternoon with the monster trucks. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he is lined up. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go! One more time! Do you want to see some damage? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! What we like to do at the from the side. He's proved to you just how flat these cars are. As we bring the trucks together nose to nose, I'm going to put the two front wheels inside the roofs of the rear cars. This is what makes Big Pete the world's best car-crushing monster truck, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for the stars of the show, Big Pete and the Grimmer Reaper! For the driver here today, Mr. Christopher Murty. Scotland, you've been a wonderful audience and a bloody good-looking one as well. Thanks for coming out to see us here today. We're back on again in a short while, but for now, on behalf of me and all the team, thank you very much. We love you, Scotland, and goodbye!
Hey, there we go. Over there, you reckon?
To make some more carnage back here at Park Farm. We're pleased to be to go in the stores. Even the UK to arrive at Newcastle. There's loads of stores and what was impressive there was that poor car apart. A green car is okay, we're ripping a blue car up later. So join us again in the main stand here at Park Farm at 3 o'clock this afternoon.